As I always say, Mondays are always the most boring days starting the week. But as usual, I intend to keep your Mondays fun and exciting. So today is all about Joshi Wrestling. So if you guys are big fans of that, you guys are in the right channel. So today we're going to be doing 4 reviews of it. The first one is, of course, is from Sendai Girls with their show in Azalea. Hopefully I pronounced it right. If not, yes. But as you know, Sendai Girls are also on the road to Meiko Satomura's retirement that will happen by the end of this month. So we're prepared for that. And then we move on with MARIGOLD with a produced show by none other than Nanae Takahashi. For those who know, just like Meiko Satomura, she intends to retire on the first year anniversary of MARIGOLD next month. But however, she decided to produce a show that features her doing singing and dancing at the start of the opening show, and 2 matches she took back to back. Well, not back to back, but 2 matches in the same show. And then we move on, of course, with Marvelous. As you probably know already, they made their US debut in Las Vegas during WrestleMania week, featuring many matches involved. And then finally, of course, Stardom with day 2 of their show, An American Dream in Neon City, that features many wrestlers, but however, Megan Bayne makes her return to Stardom, teaming up with Micah. As you guys know, they were known as the Divine Kingdom, or Kingdom Divine, whatever they call, teaming up with Hanako to take on Hate. So that's going to be a real fun match. But as always, we will cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been happening in the world of wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world. Pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics, such as, of course, the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all pleasantries have been said. So, it's time to kick ass. So let's begin, of course, with Sendai Girls. Alright, Sendai Girls. This is their much recent event that took place back on the 12th of April in Azalea, in the Azalea Taishi Hall in Osaka, Japan. So remember, I mentioned this. We are now on the road to retirement of Meiko Satomura. She'll be retiring on April 29th, and of course, this features her in the match that is part of it. But let's start from the very beginning of the entire event, all the way to the end. First up, we have singles action. We have Nanami from Diana taking on Sendai's very own Yuna. So you probably can guess that this is one of those matches where, of course, some of the least experienced wrestlers will get on. I mean, Nanami has grown significantly. Haven't been following Diana that much. I haven't even seen any other wrestling events. But, however, it shows how much Nanami has grown. She even applied a Northern Light suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Excuse me. Next up, we have Soy coming all the way from Pro Wrestling Evolution. She takes on against one half of the Sendai Girls Tag Team Champions, Miyuki Takase. Of course, you can tell by this match that Soy, as strong and determined she is also least experienced in this match, taking on someone like Miyuki Takase, who has 8 years of experience. And she was able to pick up the victory when she applied a guillotine leg drop, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Takase for the win. Next up, we have Riko Kawahara taking on Dash Shizako. So you probably can guess this was going to be a brutal match, despite the fact we all know, those who are familiarized with Dash, she is known as the Queen of Hardcore. Not hardcore country, in case anybody asks. Hardcore, like using tables, ladders, and chairs, that sort of thing. And I don't think Riko Kawahara has ever been in that type of position. But, however, she was in a straight-up match, nothing too serious. But, however, Dash does have a violent streak. I hope, but Riko Kawahara can take on. But, however, Riko Kawahara came up short when, of course, Dash applied a Magistral, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, Dash for the win. And then she, of course, Dash decided to do a little promo. Don't know what she said, but I'm sure it was something meaningful. But we'll see. Next up, we have tag team action. We have Yuria Suzuki teaming up with Mika Iwata to take on, of course, Team 200 kilogram, Yu and Shihiro Big Hash Hashimoto. So you probably can guess how this match was going to be. I mean, Mika Iwata, she is one of the strongest but also deadliest strikers in Sendai Girls. You probably can guess, but when it comes to Yu and Hashimoto, you know they are too big to take down, and that's always been the case. Unfortunately, what's her name? Yuria Suzuki ended up on the wrong side of the big body splash by Yu, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So, Team 200 kilogram walked away with the win. Now, on to our main event, we have Yurika Oka and Manami. They team up to take on Ryo Mizunami and, of course, the final boss, Meiko Satomura. Now, of course, you probably can tell there's certain aspects. When it comes to Ryo Mizunami, she has more experience than both Manami and Yurika Oka combined. But Meiko has far more experience than Ryo Mizunami than her and the others combined. So you probably can guess that this match was going to fall in favor to Meiko Satomura and Ryo Mizunami. But it was Meiko Satomura that walked away with the win with the Death Valley driver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. And then, of course, there was a post-match promo presenting some flowers to Meiko Satomura. As I mentioned before, that we are now on the road to her retirement that will happen on the 29th of April. So we're getting closer and closer to that. But as of right now, I think we are officially done with Sendai Girls. I believe it's time to move on with Marigold. Okay, Marigold. This is a show that was produced by Nanae Takahashi, who's also a veteran Joshi wrestler. Uh, I don't know the name of it because it's way, 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 way too long. And this took place back on the 14th of April in Shinjuku FACE. So many of you may ask, why is Nanae Takahashi producing the show? Much like Meiko Satomura, she also made her announcement for her retirement. Now, her retirement has been officially been made for the first year anniversary of MARIGOLD's first launch. As you know, they debut in March 20th of 2024, and that's always been a significant day. So most likely that will be her timing. So basically, she's also trying to get her matches straight up to find out who will be the ones handling. Not yet has been determined about her final match yet, but let's get started with the show. Exactly, like I said, it happened in Shinjuku FACE on the 14th of April. It opened up with a performance with Nanae Takahashi and her tag partner, Momoe Nana. What's her name again? Momo Nakanishi, known as Nana Momo, and two other people. Now I don't know who they were, but I was fully aware that that Nana Takahashi was involved in as a singer, and this is something that Natsupoi and Tam mentioned before in one of their promos. But yes, so that's pretty much how it started. But however, the match opened up with Zones from Pro Wrestling Evolutions taking on the Marigold World Champion Utami Ayashida. Now, not to take away anything from Zones, we know Zone is a powerhouse. You know, she can definitely try to get you out of your shoes. But Utami Ayashida, declared herself as the ace of Marvelous ever since winning the world title from Suri, is very determined to build up momentum herself. And she picked up the win with what I don't know what it was. It looked more like somewhat of a torture bomb or something. Like it looked more like a torture rack setup, but later you spin the person around into a power bomb. So I like to call it a torture bomb. Hopefully that's the correct term. And she picked up the win in that fashion. Now our next match is a very unique one, a tag team match. We have Seri Yomooka and Victoria Yuzuki teaming up to take on Nana Momo, which is of course Momoe Nakanishi and of course Nanae Takahashi. So it's strange that you see Siri and Nanae, who are both our current twin star tag champions, on the opposite side. But there were no holdbacks from both sides. I mean, you probably would expect a win out of this one no matter what. But man, these ladies went all the way. But unfortunately, this match ended in a 15-minute time limit draw. So basically, nobody wins, nobody loses. So that's how this match ended. Now, our next match is another tag team match. We have, surprise, surprise, Miyuki Takase and Miku Anu to take on Miku Kane and Yumiko Hota from T-Hearts. So basically, yeah. Now, some of you may question, wait a minute, what is Miyuki Takase there? Those who don't know, Miyuki Takase and Miku Anu actually know each other. If those who know this, before Miyuki Takase ever became a freelancer, she used to work for Atlas Girls, which is the same promotion where Miku Anu actually is from, So it makes perfect sense, if you guys never understood that. But yes, but unfortunately, you probably can guess how this was going to go. I mean, the weakest link in this match is Miku Kane, and that's exactly how it played out, because it was Ano with a somewhat of an underhook slam onto her, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. However, during the post-match promo, Hota had a little some things to say to Ano. I don't know what she said, but I wouldn't be surprised if she asked her to challenge her or something. But I'm sure Miku Ano will definitely take on, because she's not afraid of anything. Now, our next match, we have Chika Goto taking on Big Hash herself, Chihiro Hashimoto. So this is a challenge for Chika Goto, because as strong as she is, and not to mention she applies the giant swing, she is facing someone who's a bit more stronger than her, and someone who is not easily taken down. And I think that's important for everybody to know that. But Chika Goto has, in my opinion, has grown significantly, but she's yet to pick up the biggest win of her career just yet. But unfortunately, no, not Big Hash. My bad. No, let me reiterate that one again. We have, of course, Hiroye Matsumoto, who's also a powerhouse. My bad. Me. My handwriting is messed up, guys. Sorry, because I wrote these things down. So anyway, so it's Chika Goto and Hiroye Matsumoto. Of course, Matsumoto is a strong individual, Lady Destroyer, actually. So she, as you probably can guess how this was going to go. But Chika Goto, as I said, she has grown significantly, but she hasn't picked up a big win just yet. But of course, Matsumoto actually finished her off with a chokehold. I'm sure this was a disappointing loss to Chika Goto, but I'm sure Matsumoto gave her some encouragement, knowing too well that she definitely put a lot of work into evolving her skills, and that's exactly a positive thing. So we'll see what happens down the road for Chika Goto. Now our next match is our main event. We have Rina Yamashita teaming up with Big Hash herself, Chihiro Hashimoto. Yeah, this time I'm reading my notes right. And they team up with Ryu Mizunami to take on Mirai, Yu, and Nanae Takahashi. Now, of course, many of you may question this. What it would be like to see Big Hash and Yu face off each other since they are both tag team partners? I mean, I'm sure they can outdo each other in every way possible. I mean, it's not easy to put one down or the other. So that sets it up. Mirai, we know she's a strong wrestler. She's not afraid of the size differential of anybody that stands in her way, even if that is Big Hash herself. But, however, it was in fact Nanae Takahashi who picked up the win when she applied a driver onto Yamashita, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So, basically, Nanae Takahashi and her team picked up the victory. So we are officially done with, of course, with MARIGOLD. I believe it's time to move on with our next review, and that is, of course, Marvelous. Okay, Marvelous making their US debut here in the States in Las Vegas during WrestleMania week, and this took place recently on the 17th of course, of April. We opened up with a six-way woman match. We have Becca versus Jay Mainley versus Miku Alana versus Charisma versus Haley Dillon versus Amira. Now, of course, many of you may know some of these girls. Becca has appeared in many promotions over time. Uh, mainly, and of course Miku Alana. They actually came from West Coast Pro. Uh, I don't know where. Of course, Charisma down in CML, I believe. I don't know about Haley Dillon, and then Amira. Well, she's from Prestige, in case anybody asks. But yes, so it was a pretty good match. But however, in this moment, it started out with Haley Dillon actually started saying crap, and then she got herself attacked by a 5-on-1 type of style. But of course, when it comes to these type of matches, it's kind of hard to determine who's going to win. But it was, of course, Mira who picked up the win when she applied the world's strongest slam on Miku Alana, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, before anything else, they introduced the Marvelous roster, those who are officially, including those who used to be part of the roster. Like, of course, one of them was Masha Slamovich, and our second ever AEW Women's Champion, Nyla Rose. So yes, so those who don't know this, Nyla Rose did a Japanese tour a long time ago, so it would make sense about that. So that's how it is. Now, our first match is a men's exhibition match, 6-man tag team match. We have Kevin Blackwood, who is our current West Coast Pro World Champion, Alan Angels, our current Prestige Champion, and of course GAC. They take on Vinny Masario, and of course Crush Boys, Titus Alexander and Starboy Charlie. So you probably can guess who will be possibly the fan favorite, which of course is Vinny and the Crush Boys, which is a good combination team in my opinion. But this match ended with, of course, when Titus Alexander took out GAC with a vicious knee strike, and then just like that, good night Irene, 1, 2, 3, adios, just like that. Next up, we have Rina Yamashita taking on Maya World. Now, of course, I have seen Maya World a few times in various promotions. Rina Yamashita, well, she is one of the strongest competitors that we know. She actually picked up the win when she applied the B driver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3 is over. Now, these next two matches are no, not two matches. Yeah, our next match we have Aya Hausen taking on Masha Slavic. Now, I would say this is a strong test for AI for many reasons. Now, AI has been a bit of a hothead herself, but when it comes to Masha Slavic, she has to understand you're not facing a lazy bum. You're not facing a slouch. You're facing someone who knows exactly what they're doing. And that's exactly what Masha Slavic. Of course, I can give Hausen a lot of credit for the effort of her trying to stand up against her, but unfortunately, she ended up on the wrong side of the package file driver, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next match is a 6-woman tag match. We have Zadie Gibbs, who we haven't seen for quite some time, but making her appearances in Marvelous in recent times since last year. She teams up with Magenta, Maria, and Riko Kawahara to take on Sandra Moon, Unagi Sayaka, and Nightshade. So you probably can guess that we have the Freelancers versus, of course, the ones who most likely be homegrowns and Marvelous. But this match ended with Unagi applying a straight up forearm to the chest onto Sadie Gibbs, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now, our next two matches are very interesting. As you know, Marvelous has introduced recently last year two rookies, Senka Atsutsuki and Sora Ayame. Now, these two ladies are facing two distinctive wrestlers in their own right. Senka Atsuki is facing Aja Kong. So yes, I mean, Atsuki, she is not afraid. But when it comes to Aja Kong, you know she's not someone you don't want to mess with. But unfortunately, Atsuki ended up on the wrong side of an Uranagi, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Next up, the other rookie, Sora Ayame, takes on Nyla Rose. Those who know she is Nyla Rose. Well, there's still some. I think some of you may ask if she's still with AEW. That's the thing. We haven't seen her for quite some time. But, however, she participated and she's facing against Sora Ayame. I mean, Ayame was determined to prove herself. Well, she ended up on the wrong side of a swanton bomb by Nyla Rose. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our main event, we have tag team action. We have Takumi Iroha teaming up with Johnny Robbie to take on Shuri from Stardom, and her tag partner, also a San Diego native and part of the WWE prospect, ID prospect, well, Zara Zacher. So this was a fun match to enjoy. I mean, it was a real fun match, I'm not going to lie. But in the end, it was Takumi Iroha with the running 3 on Shuri, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. I mean, it was a pretty good one. I enjoyed a lot. So hopefully you guys see this one completely. I'm not sure where you can see it, but yes. So we're officially done with Marvelous. Let's move on with our last and final review, and that is, of course, Stardom. Alrighty then, our last review, Stardom with more of the American Dream in Neon City. This took place recently on the 18th of April. So as you remember, Stardom did a two-day show event in Las Vegas during WrestleMania week. So let's open up with, of course, with tag team action. We have Rochelle Rose teaming up with Mina Shirakawa, which of course is her last and final match with Stardom. So it's sad to see that go. But however, she has to face against Suzuki, and Azuki, for those who don't know, Azuki has recently won a title that one time Starlight Kid has actually chased, and that is, of course, the Spark Yoshi World Championship. So basically, she's the new champion. Now, of course, there's a lot of speculations about people saying that Suzuki and Azuki most likely will team up and form a new faction. That is yet to be determined, but it seems like that is the direction. I haven't had any confirmation yet about it, but seeing these two team up, it's different from what they do. But in the end, it was, of course, Azuki who walked away with the win with the senton onto Rochelle Rose, and just like that, 1, 2, 3. Now, as I said before, we don't know what the extent's going to happen with Azuki. We know in And on the 27th in Yokohama, Shi and Koguma will face off against Saya Ida and Hanan for the tag belts. So we'll see what happens then. Our next match, we have Kelsey Heather taking on Shooty. I mean, Kelsey Heather, I have to say, she did a fantastic job taking on Shooty. But Shooty, as you know, being a bit of a striker and, of course, a submission expert, that kind of plays out pretty well. Unfortunately, Kelsey ended up on the wrong side of a submission by Shooty, and of course, she had no choice but to tap. Next up, we have like what you call a mixed tag team match. We have Clark Connors teaming up with Hate members, more specifically Tekla and Natsuko Tora. They take on the DKC and Wingori, our current tag champions, Saya Ida and Hanan of Stars. Now, of course, you know how aggressive Hate and Clark Connors can be. I mean, Clark Connors is the most despicable person he is. He even, not to mention, there's still people pissed that he speared Natsupoi last year. But, unfortunately, none of that happened because, of course, Natsuko Tora got away with it when she missed DKC. But, however, she picked up the win on Hanan when she applied the Death Valley Bomb onto her. However, many people would say, does that mean they will get a shot at the tag belts? Well, I mean, they would if Wingori survives against Azuki and Koguma. That's the very obvious question. But however, during the post-match promo, many of you remember Tekla still has some unfinished business towards the Stardom president, Taru Okada. Apparently, she wants him in the match, but Okada said no. So, just to teach him a lesson, they decided to, of course, have that bastard Clark Connors spear him. So, sooner or later, someone's going to take Clark Connors out, but we'll see. Now, this next match, you can call it as a preliminary match. We have Johnny Robbie teaming up with Azumi to take on Maya World and Starlight Kid. Now, those who remember, on the 27th of this month in Yokohama, of course, the All-Star Dream Queendom, Azumi and Starlight Kid will face off each other. Kid will be defending the Wonder of Stardom Championship against Azumi. So that's a very interesting match to enjoy. So the real question we ask ourselves, who's going to get the momentum? Well, we have seen momentum coming from both sides, but in this one, it turned out to be, of course, Johnny Robbie picked up the win when she took out Maya Rose when she applied a brainbuster, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. Now our next match, our main event, is a 6-woman tag match. We have Calientita. She teams up with the members of Hate, more specifically Konami, Momo, and Momo Wanabe. They take on Mega Bane and, of course, Hanako and Maika. Now, those who remember this, Mega Bane and Maika were in fact tag team partners known as the Divine Kingdom, and they were a force to be reckoned with. Now, this was during the time in 2023 when Mega Bane was doing a tour of that year, and now it seems like it's a fruition for that. So you ask yourselves, who's going to walk away with the win? Well, it was Maika who walked away with the win when she applied a Michinoku driver on Calientita, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, done. So a lot of things of that happened. So we'll see what happens when Stardom. Now remember, Stardom will have another show on the 24th back in Japan. And as for Mina, we don't know yet when she'll be making her debut just yet, but it's only a matter of time. So until then, we are officially done with Stardom. Let's move on, of course, with some news updates. Our last thing, news updates. So let's get started with upcoming events with the promotions. Now, our first one, we have GCW with We Still Don't Trust You. They'll take place in Portland, Oregon on the 4th of May. They announced that the Jersey Championship Wrestling World title will be defended. Masha Stivers defends her championship against the Pink Striker, Miyu Yamashita. So that's going to be fun. Recently, there's been an announcement that both MLW, Major League Wrestling, and CMLL will be collaborating for Azteca Lucha on the 10th of May at the Cisnero Stadium in Chicago. So basically, they'll be making their way there. Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling will be they announced two names that will be participating in the Northern Rising event also on the 10th of May. First, we have, of course, the frontman of of TMDK, Zack Sabre Jr., and of course, Mike Bailey has been added into the 20-man championship gauntlet match that will take place. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Uh, as you know, we got the Crockett Cup taking place later on next month on the 17th. Another names have been now entered into the Crockett Cup. Those who are not familiarized with the Crockett Cup, it's a tag team tournament. We have the names that were added. We have the Southern Six, Alex Taylor, and Kerry Morn, who is the son of Ricky Morn. So yes, so they'll be involved. Two matches have been announced for the upcoming West Coast Pro event on the 30th of May, when the lights in the city go down. We have Starboy Charlie versus Lee Moriarty. We have Adam Priest versus Jaya Ju. And then finally, as you know, Kitsune Women's Wrestling has announced two names. However, here's the situation. One of the names to be involved in both shows for the San Diego show on the 7th and the 8th in June. We have Aruka Umasaki, who is in fact from Diana, from the Joshi promotion. Diana will be participating in both shows. However, Kid Bandit has been announced that she'll be participating on the 8th of June on that day. So if anybody wants to put that on your calendars, check it out. Now for some developments going on. Sad news coming from, of course, the Chicago promotion AAW. They just announced the passing of the referee Devin Anderson. Real sad to hear about that. And, I'm sure he was a great guy. A lot of people talk about it. So rest in peace, Devin Anderson. Many of you had know recently with WWE, there's been some moves that have been made. Recently, there's been talks about WWE partnering up with Puerto Rican promotion, World Wrestling Council. Now, those who are not familiarized with that promotion, it's run by Carlos Colon, who is in fact the father of Carlito and, of course, Primo. So, yes, Carlito and Primo, their dad runs that promotion. So, most likely that could happen. I mean, they could actually picked up a partnership with them. So, interesting moves have been mentioned. And, of course, there's been talk about potential talent exchange, like talent from Puerto Rico going to the States, or the state wrestlers who are currently in WWE going to Puerto Rico. Who knows how that's going to go down. Now, speaking of WWE, many of you know this, that recently WWE has acquired AAA. Well, there's been talks about Jeremy Borash. Many of you may know him. He worked with TNA in the past. Well, he's now being integrated in the creative plans of AAA. Now, there's been talks about this recently, about some people saying this is the position that, of course, Conan has. Some people are saying now, fans are questioning, is this the end of Conan? Now, it is sad, but to me, I don't like how Conan has been spinning the recent ordeal about Stephanie McHugh, which pissed me off. But if that's the case, then, that's how WWE are going to operate. There's nothing anybody can do to stop it. Now, speaking of AAA, many of you know this. Recently, there has been wrestlers from AAA that have been appearing in the Japanese promotion GLEAT, and they just announced this, that thank you so much for everything. We are now pleased to announce that we officially formed an alliance with Mexico's AAA Lucha Libre. The CEO, Dorian Roldan, is scheduled to attend the GLEAT 3rd anniversary event on July 1st. So basically, there's that. Now, many people are questioning, does this mean that GLEAT will now work with WWE? Well, here's the thing. As much as I would say yes, but there are those that believe that they rather team up with New Japan. That's always been the case. But recently they have been talking with, of course, with Noah. They have been doing a great job working with them. As much as they want New Japan, but New Japan doesn't want to be in that position with them, because they're not all about the entertainment. They're all about the sport itself. So that's pretty much it. Now, speaking of what's been going on, many of you may know this guy, Gideon Gray. He's been making funny jokes about the recent thing that WWE has done. And this is what he said on his X account. First, they came to Progress Wrestling, and I said nothing because it was funny. Then they came for AAA, and I said nothing because it was funny. Next, they go for Noah, and I say nothing because nobody talks about Noah. So basically, he thinks that no one gives a damn about Noah because those who know this, he's a full-blown supporter of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, some of you may say that this is cruel of him to say things like that about Noah. Maybe so. I mean, look, I'm not going to deny about Noah itself. I mean, Noah does have some great talent. I'm not going to wrong. But recently, Noah has not been at the top of its game for years. Not since Misawa passed away. And that's the saddened truth. And I think that's why people say New Japan should just leave AEW and go with WWE. But it's not going to happen. As long as WWE treat talent more like entertainment than a sport, then AEW has to do. And then finally, recently, Hiromu Takahashi, as you probably know, you guys know this already. There's been talks about Naito and Bushi leaving on May 4th, and this is what he had to say. I'm staying with New Japan. I'm thinking positively pursuing what I want to do. LIJ has always been a group of uncontrollable individuals, so I don't know what's next, but I'm planning to put some ideas into action. Hiromu Takahashi. Now, this was in Tokyo Sports. Now, I'm a big fan of LIJ, not gonna lie. I love LIJ. They really are a unique team. But the real question, we don't know what's gonna happen now with, of course, with Naito and Bushi leaving. So we don't know what ideas Hiromu has, but hopefully he can execute them soon. So we'll see what happens. But as of right now, let's just finish it right here, and let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. I hope you guys enjoy the fact that I did all about Joshi Wrestling today, and I hope you guys kept up what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling on our news updates. But as for our next episode, as you probably can guess, we have NXT. That's our priority. I haven't, as you probably can guess, I'm going to try to catch up what I can with certain events. I'm way behind on the All Japan, like they're already in day 5 of their annual tournament, Champion Carnival. Tokyo Wrestling, I'm behind on that one too. But I'll see what I can do on that one. So there's a lot of things I have to catch up, including the wrestling events that took place in Vegas. So we'll see. But as of right now, as I said, NXT is the top priority. So we'll go from there. But as of this moment, I'll say this, that I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day. Bang.